Hello everyone, welcome live to Vicent Podcast. I am with my brother, my pastor, my singer, Sir Chris Jovia. He's a social media consultant, graphic designer, singer, all-rounded person. So I would love you to hear from him actually. So sir.
Hello everyone, my name is Chris and it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Okay, Sir Chris Jovia will be taking us on self-discovery, his journey, and I met him in 2021 actually, for those of you who don't know, and since 2021 till now, it has been a lot of success, in his social media and all the rest. So I would love him to share with us his challenges, his success, and his breakthrough. So, sir.
Okay, I think I've not really had an opportunity to share most of my experiences, growing up, the challenges I've had, and how the whole thing happened. A lot of persons think that I just came out of nowhere. It started from somewhere. I think the whole thing started when I left my family house, when I left my parents' house, or when I left home at a very tender age. So I had to leave home because I felt that there was more outside. You know, there was more outside. And when you are within your family house, there's this comfort that you enjoy. You have everybody is eating free food, you have free bed, you have free time and all of that. But when I journeyed into the outside world, I realized that things were different. Nobody's giving you free food again. Nobody's giving you free bed. Anything you are enjoying, you have to work for it. There's nothing free outside. You see, the world outside stretches you, and it's different from what you experience when you are in your father's house. Whether you work or you no work, you go chop, because your father and your mother will not starve you. But when you are outside, you must hustle. So I started, and one thing is that when you step out of your comfort zone, you realize that there are so many opportunities out there for you. I started meeting people that helped me meet other people, and that was how the chain started breaking off. And the more you are meeting people and you are building relationship, the more you are getting exposure. And exposure is the spice that makes the whole thing beautiful, because you get to encounter things that reveal more of yourself to you. All right. I always have this quote that I always have believed in it for long now, which is, you don't when you pray to God for strength, do God give you strength, or do God give you situations that will reveal the strength that He has given you? If you pray to God to give you the spirit of forgiveness, how do you know that He has given it to you if there are no situations that will come to trigger the answer that God has given to that your prayer? So when you meet people on the outside, you don't know how strong you are until you have encountered challenges and situations that will gradually reveal the strength you have within you and those capacities. So some of the things I am now, nothing changed if you ask me. Just that I revolutionized myself, like I evolved. This thing I am now, or who I am now, is the same person I was years ago, just that it was not revealed. So as I went through life, I met people, I encountered challenges and situations and all of that. I realized that the real me started coming out. So when people ask me, how did you get here? I say, I encountered growth. Change happened. Change just happened. Exposure happened. Relationship happened. Trial and error happened. Promise and fear happened. Pain and happiness happened. All these things, God will not tell you, look at how it's going to happen. No, He will just tell you, just take a first step. The rest of the journey He won't tell you. But as you encounter these things, you realize that a new capacity just begins to spring up. So I don't think there is much. There's no 7 laws or 12 laws I obeyed. I didn't even know that any of these things were going to happen. I only said yes to the process. When I stepped out, I had to squat with someone. I won't say who, but I had to squat with someone, with another person in the same one room. Yes, 3 persons, and it was high inconvenience in a public yard that their privacy, their convenience was messed up. So it was crazy. From there, I got my first one room apartment. From there, I left to Abuja. From there to Abuja, entered school, came back. From there, I was in Aba, went back to Lagos, studied, came back. So it's been breaking and stretching here and there. So this me you are seeing now, growth brought out this me. It has always been there, oh, but it was not revealed. So as I went through life, as I went through growth, as I went through so many exposures, and you know, everything just came.
Let's just say what prompted the growth, what set you apart, like what drove you? Is it, most people say like it was pain, it was poverty, people have their own different story. Like we are not eating at home then, also I wanted to go and make us to eat. Are you getting things like that? So what was your drive?
I think one of the things that triggered my drive was, will I say, from a very tender age, I've always been someone that is, I wanted more. You know, most persons who are called to do great things, you will not always be comfortable. All right, there's always this thing that will keep on ringing on your inside. That you are called for more. You will just know it. If you ask other persons who have done like great things before, they will still testify to the fact that there is this voice in their head that will always tell them that there is something more. So I think one of my trigger was I started modeling some level of greatness from a tender age. I think when I left home, it was the first thing that took me out of home was when I saw a man, one preacher like that was preaching during morning cry of something. As I was sent to go and get bread for our morning tea. So I saw the man. I love what he was doing. I just love how he was talking. I was very tender at that point. I can't remember my age, but I was very small. I was still in secondary school then. So I saw him and I love what he was doing. I had to wait till he was done preaching, even though I was sent on an errand.
You left the bread.
I left it. The way he was talking, he was speaking like Pastor Chris. I think that was his mentor then. So when he finished, I met him. I said, "Sir, I love what you were doing. Can I learn from you? Can you teach me how to preach like this?" That was it. That was how the master. So from there, I will always leave home to go and visit him. We'll go for morning cry and everything. So that was literally how it all started. And like I told you before, exposure is everything. Exposure reveals a part of you that you have not known, a part of you that you should know. So that was how the whole thing started.
Those are like something actually stood up for me when you came out with your Harvey Academy. It was first data, am I right? Data stuff. Then we're looking at now, it's going banking system, it's growing, and So what should you tell us about that, sir?
Okay, I think it's more like an idea expansion. All right. Yes, I think no idea is single. If anybody wants to singularize an idea, it's the person's choice. But trust me, any idea God gives you, you can expand. There is always an expansion. What is it called? There is this capacity to expand attached to every idea. So when that particular vision came, that Harvey, it first came for my data brand. But then when I was telling you a story before, when I went to Lagos. So it was in Lagos, that O2 Academy, that the vision came. I saw how they were doing. What really marveled me was when the owner of the school, he's an Igbo man, I think he's from Abia State also, Mr. Ozone. One of the days he came to address us, because he does that every morning before we go, into our different departments. And then he asked them a question. He said that he was talking about discipline. Then he called one of his staff before all the students that came for the morning prep. And then he asked the staff, he said, "Have I ever come late?" No. He first asked them, said, "If any of the staff comes late, what is the punishment?" And the lady said, 30% of their salary is being deducted. There's no missy, whether you are coming from. And mind you, some of these stars are coming where the school is at Ojota in Lagos. You can go and make your research. And me, I'm coming from Ekota Villa. That is inside Lagos. It's just like going from island to mainland every single day. and most of the staff comes from that island to mainland. So it doesn't matter where you're coming from, you have to be there on time. And if you are late, 30% of your salary is being deducted. There is nothing like abeg or please.
So that's their
And
principle. That is
is their principle for close to I don't know whether it's 16 years or so. Then he now asked the lady a question. That was where my mind blew. He asked the lady, said, "Have I ever come late since this academy started?" And the lady said no. For once, like he has never maybe he's trying to exact his immunity as the owner of the school, and then he said he has never come late. And the money they will deduct from your salary, they will use it to buy pizza and share to everybody to eat, and you'll be watching them. In fact, you will be the one to share the pizza. You know, no. What he was saying was not my challenge. My challenge was that if this level of discipline is being implemented in this school, that means I know why they have succeeded this far.
yes, yes.
You can track the level of success by the level of discipline now. I saw how far they have gone, how many persons they have trained. They will train you and then they will give you job opportunities. I saw people working in a Viva company, in a clean company, in advertising companies, working for Glo, for MTN, from their own academy. So I said, no, I want to build this kind of thing in Abia State. So when I was studying them, I was seeing Abia State. When I was studying them, I was seeing Abia State. You know, that was what showed that I wasn't really in Lagos to come and flex as Lagos boy. I was in Lagos to gather knowledge, to gather exposure, and then come back to the East and establish a replica of what I saw in Lagos, and even more. Because truly, truth be told, that level of discipline, if you use it here in Abia State, nobody will come. Some will tell you, sir, my mom swallowed shovel. That's why I came late.
Yes.
My father mistakenly swallowed his car. They want to do operation. Please, I'm coming. Even while I was in the school there, one lady came that she's breastfeeding a child. That's why she came late. The owner of the school told her, why not hire a maid? You don't have the woman paid the penalty for coming, I think 10,000 naira or so, and they bought pizza that morning, and everybody ate pizza that same morning. So I said no, Abia State needs it. So I had to pay more attention to the systematic running of that academy than the course I came to learn. So it was there that, and that heavy pay have already been established before I came to Lagos. It was few weeks before I came to Lagos. So I now told myself, is it not better to just expand this name, Harvey? In fact, it's not even me telling myself, the inspiration came. It was there Harvey Naija came. It was there Harvey Hive Academy came. And all these things, I recorded them, I document. So my returning back to the East was not because I am more comfortable in the East. No, I actually came back because I have an assignment. All right. So I had to now expand that name Harvey, to accommodate every other thing that I knew how to do. And in the aspect of the Harvey Hive Academy, you know, I'm a forest trader, I'm a graphic designer, I'm into content creation. And before now, my forest trading academy was Kingdom FX. Graphic design was Chris Jovian Graphics. So it was as though this one is a different company. So God had to talk to me. He said, you are going to die before your time if you don't learn how to build systems. And because of the exposure I got in Lagos, it was easier for me. Say, why not give this thing one name now, and then attach every other thing you do under it. Let everybody come and learn it under one umbrella. So that was when I now said, no. Let me run this as an academy. And the kind of structure you give an idea depends on the longevity of that particular idea.
Yes.
There are some system and structure you give an idea, it will die under 1 month or 1 year. But there are some structures that will elongate the lifespan of that idea.
So I actually have a very serious question, as a young man who's coming up that has a vision in mind. Do you actually think that you need to have everything in mind before starting out, like finance, know where you're heading to, or should you just start at?
It's not, the equation is not always the same for everybody. Some people have it all figured out. Why some don't? I think life is not that fair to anybody though. For me, I didn't really have it all figured out. I only stepped out. In fact, if you ask me, I think the beginning point is the same for everybody. You just have to step out. You just have to step out. Some persons, I think I was reading the history of Davido, where he said that his father was rich. Oh. In fact, his father is still was and still rich and will continue to be rich. They have built the ocean of wealth for themselves, you know. But he said something that he had to sell some things to raise money to pay for his studio session while he was starting. And the reason was because his father was against him doing music.
Okay.
To him, that was the hardship.
You had to face.
That was the
But most of them have what to sell.
that is the challenge. But you see, the point I'm trying to make is that the beginning point is still the same. You just have to step out of a comfort zone. The comfort zone will just have to be that they are serving you 3 square meal a day, but now they say that they will just serve you 2.5. So that other half is still the comfort zone you have to step out. So it's not like it's the same for everybody, but somehow someone have to live in comfort. But I think in the issue of success, it's like an onion where the first layer unveils the second layer, the second layer unveils the third layer unveils the fourth layer. You will not know the second layer until you unveil the first. So there's always a point of you stepping out. All right, the exposure will now uncover the rest of the equation for you, but you can't figure it out in one place. You need to step out. You might meet someone that will tell you about someone, and that someone will not be the person that will not bring the real exposure that will now open you up to, you know, the breakthrough you need. But you can't stay at a place and the whole thing happens. No, it's impossible. It's impossible.
So what was your advice to someone starting out like?
If I should advise anybody now that wants to journey on the path of self-discovery, I would just there are some things I wish I knew before, which I will still give it out as an advice right now. Value relationship. Relationship is the distinguishing factor when it comes to personal discovery. Relationship, because some of us came from a home where our family members are not that educated to know some of the things where the world is going right now. All right, so they don't know. So some of us, it was an external relationship that opened us up to some of the things we know now, not family members. Some of our family members are even unaware of anything that has to do with making money online and tech and the digital space. So I would advise any young person starting off on personal discovery to look for people who are already moving in the path where you are going, and ask questions. Go for mentorship, go for training. I think that is the only way to cut the journey short. If you don't want to stress too much like we did trying to figure out, I don't do many things now. I don't I don't say I've established my popcorn company, overseas pops. Oh my god, I've started. If I start naming some of them, some failed, some succeeded, but both the one that failed and succeeded put together is still part of the equation. All of them helped me to get to where I am now. So ask questions. Look for someone that will guide you, or that will counsel you, or that will mentor you. Mentorship is very important. See, if I had known anything about mentorship like years before now, I won't even be at this stage. I will be bigger. Trust me, because these guys will tell you what worked for them and what did not work for them. You will not use your tongue to count your teeth. But some of us, we did so many trial and error before we could find out what worked for us, our own unique strategy. But if you find someone who this thing has worked for, and the person now, kind of guided you through, you won't make some mistake we made. It will be easier for you to hit success like once. You won't have to keep trying and trying and trying. You know what is working for you. You just like someone crossed a particular point of life and he failed. You already know what is what failed the person, or what you should look out for when you are crossing that same area. So it's way more easier. And then number 2, cut off impatience and premature manifestation. Right now in the world, when we started this stuff, it was just to go, and the Facebook then it was not even this advanced on Android phone. It was Java phone then.
Yes.
So there was nobody was displaying wealth and cashing out on content creation and this one like it is now. So the people who are starting off in 2024 in self-discovery will have to battle with premature manifestation and trying to overnight success. You have to, it's a demon you need to fight, because you are trying to build something and then you are seeing people who are already doing well in that stuff and you feel like you are not doing anything.
Yes.
That you are wasting time. So you have to cut off impatience. Tell yourself that you follow the due process, know what works, and then give yourself time to gain mastery in that particular thing. And then thirdly is figure out your own strategy. Figure out your own strategy. If I tell you that there are 5 things that worked for me to get to where I am now, it doesn't mean that that 5
Can also apply
things
to
will
me.
also work for you. It might be one out of the 5 that work for you. So you need to find out what works for you, and you can't know that if you have not discovered your own peculiarity. What makes you different? What are you bringing to the table in the marketplace? All right, everybody have what they are bringing to the table. Some are comedians, some are into pastry, some are into designing, some are into the creative art. You need to find out what works for you, and everything boils down to mentorship and training. All right, right now you can find information anywhere, so you can't say nobody told you. If you go to Google, you will know what is working and where the world is going. And the last advice I will give is don't be left behind. All right, know where the world is going in 2024, and then attach yourself by all means possible. Don't be left behind. If it's content creation that is working, try as much as possible. My own what is it called, my own mantra, like my motto is know a little about everything. No matter how, even if it's 1% knowledge, 1% is better than nothing.
Nothing.
If it's content creation, know about it, so that if your mates are talking, you also have something to contribute. All right, you have, because you might come before a round table where they are talking about something, and then you might happen to know 1 or 2 things about what they are talking about, and you might give your take, and somehow the lot might be in your favor, and all of a sudden, you are building influence in that. But that was how I started. I started talking about Facebook monetization and YouTube monetization even before I got to start breaking through in the same stuff. I didn't even have result, but I was teaching what I didn't have result on, and people were paying for it. So there are a whole lot of other stuff, but let's just stop here for now.
Now this was one of the, like, I don't know, my brother won't blow. But honestly, you have opened a lot and I'm very grateful. Someone that's out there and you wish to know more, I think you should, it's someone that is worth following. I've been following for years now, and let me just say that when it comes to knowledge and how to monetize knowledge, that the man, like, every day, all day, like, I'm serious. And one thing I love was, like, you don't need to figure it all out. You just have to start from somewhere. That your dream is not as big as you are thinking. Just start. So thank you, sir, so much. Please make sure you are following him online on Facebook, sir. Chris Jovia. I think I'm right, sir. Chris Jovia.
The way you call my name. John Dian.
Okay, so make sure you're following him both on YouTube and the rest. I love you so much, sir. Thank you for showing up. Thank you so much.